If you want to improve your landscape and woodland photography skills with one simple learning technique, this video might just be right for you. Today I will tell you all about how you can improve your compositional skills through only using a prime lens. Welcome back everybody. As you can see, I'm now outside in a local woodland and I am here because I want to photograph a spot that I found a couple of weeks ago, and I've actually been here for my last video too, but I didn't have the right conditions, but today I do, and I'm really looking forward. I'm really excited to see how the place looks, but to get there I have to walk a little bit and the light is fading, so I have to hurry a little bit, so I'll see you when I'm there. So I made it here in time, luckily. I was already a bit worried while I was walking here because the light is fading, sunset is in about half an hour to 45 minutes, and I had to walk through a very, forest with very dense canopy, and I was already a bit worried that the light was already gone because I couldn't really see anything inside of the forest, and yeah, but I made it here. It's on the edge of the forest. It's this very gnarly root system of a couple of trees, and I think it looks beautiful. I still have to find a composition because I've only seen the scenery so far, and I have to find like a cool composition in there. So yeah, let's see what I can come up with. So what I forgot to mention earlier is I will only be shooting with my 23mm f2 prime lens and see what results I can yield. Right, as you can see and probably hear, it's very windy, very rainy, and I really had to concentrate on finding a couple of compositions, which I have. I have a couple that I actually really like. I'm really looking forward to review them on the computer, but I couldn't really shoot any videos while finding the compositions because, well, my microphone isn't really waterproof, and if I have it plugged in, my camera isn't either, so I'm really just hoping my camera doesn't die here right now. Yeah, I'm gonna head back now. The sun is almost going down, and I still have about 20 minutes walk to the car. So yeah, I'll see at home if I like the pictures, and I'm gonna show you them. So as you've seen, there was a lot of wind and very heavy rain, and I had to go home a little early and couldn't really explain the shots I was taking, but nonetheless I think I came home with some amazing shots. I actually got 3 shots I really like. I already edited them on my PC. Might not be the final edit, but I'll just show them to you, and you could just tell me what you think about them in the comments down below. So when you're out in the field looking at the scenery and you're trying to find a composition, a big part of finding that composition is trying to find out what focal length you want to shoot at. But when you're using a prime lens, you don't have that problem because you only have one focal length to shoot at. And therefore it makes the entire process a little easier because you have less things to think about. So a big reason why I think you should try and go out with a prime lens sometimes to improve your photography is that you probably have a favorite focal length even if you don't know it yet. And if you actually don't know it yet, you can pretty easily determine it. You can just look at your favorite pictures and see what focal length you shot them at, and therefore you can pretty easily determine what your favorite focal length is. And using that focal length will usually lead to you shooting your favorite images, and if you would only be using a zoom lens, you would probably just stand in the same spot the entire time and just zoom in and out, and therefore you probably not really use your favorite focal length. So if you like this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you'd give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it helps out a ton. So it could be the situation that you found out your favorite focal length and you realize that you don't have a prime lens as your favorite focal length, and therefore you think you can't practice with a prime lens. But what you can just do is you can just take your zoom lens and really, you have to have the willpower, just use one focal length, just set it to that and leave it at that and don't change it. And yeah, like that you can obviously easily practice with your favorite focal length. Using a zoom lens kind of makes you a lazy photographer because usually you get to the scene and you have your camera with your zoom lens on and you just stand in one spot and you don't really move from there, maybe a step to the left or the right, but that's it, because you don't need to move because you have the zoom lens. You can just zoom in and out and change your composition that way. The problem is you probably have a favorite focal length, and if you're not using that favorite focal length, just any random focal length your zoom lens can get to, you're probably not shooting your favorite image. And on the other hand, if you're using a prime lens, you will get to the scene, you have your camera with your prime lens on, and you have to physically move to change your composition. You have to move forward, you have to move backwards, to the left, to the right, all of that. And that kind of, I think, makes you think about your composition more instead of just using a zoom lens. And if you're thinking about your composition more, you're looking at the edges and what you want in the composition and what you don't want, and usually produces better images, for me at least. Another advantage of using a prime lens over a zoom lens is that they're usually way more compact as well as lighter than zoom lenses, and therefore personally I don't really tend to put my camera with a prime lens back in my backpack when I'm done shooting an image. Instead, I just keep it out and hold it in my hand the entire time, because it's not as big of a hassle as it would be with a zoom lens. With a zoom lens, I usually just put it back in my backpack, and oftentimes I'm just walking across a couple of different scenes and I'm thinking about if I should shoot them or not. And oftentimes when my camera's in my backpack, I don't really want to put my backpack down and try out the scene if I can find a composition, because oftentimes I'm a bit hesitant and I'm just thinking, well, there's probably not a good composition there anyway. But if I have my camera out already, I can just hold it up to my eye, see if I can find something, see if it looks good. And if it looks good, great, I found an image that I wouldn't have found if I had used a prime lens, a zoom lens. And therefore you can yield results that you wouldn't have had with a zoom lens. A big reason why I think you should definitely try out shooting with only prime lens sometimes is because you really get used to this one focal length, and therefore it makes it easier for you to find good compositions and improve your compositional skills and technique, and potentially master this one focal length. So all in all, I think it's just good practice to sometimes only go out with your prime lens, and the more you do it, the better you get at that specific focal length, and that's because you have less to think about, because you only have that one focal length, and therefore you can improve your compositional skills. And I guess my last reason would just be, I think shooting with a prime lens is way more fun than shooting with only a zoom lens, because it's a way more engaging type of photography, because you keep on walking around the entire time, you're trying to find compositions, you have to move your feet for it. I don't know, to me it's just more fun. So, what do you think about prime lenses versus zoom lenses? Let me know in the comments down below which one you prefer to shoot with. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give me a thumbs up, as it really immensely boosts the YouTube algorithm, and if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. Anyway, that's it from me for today. Have a good one. Bye.